shit. Okay, hello everyone, and I know it's been quite a long time, but that is because I messed up quite badly. In my last videos you could see that probably I was in a care home and away from my family, and yeah, now I'm back home again, which is why I'm here. I'm gonna explain what happened. Well, top of it all, what happened. And yeah, don't mind my shirt, I just come from work off, and now I work in a cafe as a servant. So that's why my shirt looks like this right now, and I don't feel like changing it because I just washed all my clothes and I'm going on vacation soon, so yeah. Anyways, so trigger warning, this involves self-harm and suicide attempts and stuff. So what happened was I have been struggling with my mental health all my life almost. Like I would probably say like over half of my life, and I'm 17 years old, you know, so that's a pretty long time for someone so young. And yeah, so what happened was basically that I broke down mentally and I couldn't stop myself anymore, so I ended up in a care home because they were supposed to take care of me and that I was supposed to have someone to talk to all day around and at night and stuff, which they promised both me and my family that we would have, like that I would have that kind of support in my daily routines and life and stuff, which yeah, like I said, they didn't actually give me that. Then they lied. They definitely lied about that. Yeah. And then a month ago I got back home because something happened. And what happened was, um obviously I've known since I first came to the care home. I was there for 5 months, 4 or 5 months. And in the beginning they were super sweet and they like supported me and did as they promised, being there always ready to talk and stuff. And then we reached a point where they began getting money from me, because if you didn't know, care homes get money from the social services, from, yeah, just the social services for you to live there, kind of like your rent, they pay for you. And yeah, and kind of like it kind of changed a bit. Like we didn't get proper food. Like we got breakfast with, which was oatmeal. It's okay, it's basic breakfast, healthy and stuff, and that was fine, you know, that's completely fine. And then we have dinner, which obviously was trashy. Like the lasagna was sauce practically, and they're supposed to give us like healthy foods and stuff, which they didn't. They mostly made the lasagna, pizza, or just something random they could afford. um and that pretty much, like the food tasted terrible most of the time. And we got like pocket money every Friday, which is 300 Danish money. I don't know what it is in US. I'm gonna put it right here. Yeah. And we were supposed to be able to use those money for fun and going shopping with our friends and stuff, which ended up like going to food. My best friend goes to, you know, lives at the care home too, I want to say. So yeah, it was pretty, like when we I found out that was where I was being placed, we got pretty excited because we were already best friends before the care home. And yeah, that was one of the best things that were there, I want to say. But yeah, later, not only the thing with the food, Like, also about the lunch, we were told that the lunch was for those who goes to school or work. And both me and my best friend doesn't go to school or work because we're too unstable. Well, I work now. I'm gonna work the entire summer. I'm pretty excited about that. Um, but you know, we were too unstable, and then they were like, lunches for those who goes to school, and we were like, what? What the fuck? You know, sorry my language, but that's messed up. They were supposed to give us food, you know, but they didn't. They didn't feed us at all. That we don't like the dinner is one thing, but not giving us food, like denying us food, is literal abuse. Um, and then like they're supposed to like make us more grown up, like helping us become ready to grow up, to become adults and get jobs and live alone and stuff. That's what they're supposed to do, you know. The care home I went to it's like parted in 3 age groups, which is the youngest from, I believe it was 4 to 10 years old, and then there's middle from 11 to 14-year olds, and then there are young, you know, that's literally what it's called, young part of the care home, which is from 15 to 18. And then there's apartments where you can come in training to live from the ages 18 to 23. And like the youngest got McDonald's every single Friday, literally, and their fridge was stocked up with fruits and stuff. And then there was middle part and the young part. We didn't have any food at all because all the money for the food went to the youngest, which is like, what the fuck, you know? And yeah, then they expect us to use those money we got for food, which isn't even enough for a full week of meals, you know, with how their prices are rising. And they like they were kind of infantilizing us, you can call it like that, I think. But so like, you know, they wanted to control your everyday life. Like, I know I come from a family where I'm used to being able to do whatever I want, which is a privilege. I know that, and I'm thankful for that. But the extent that care home was trying to control me was insane. Like, I knew how to wash my clothes and clean my room, and I had a perfect training schedule and meal plan and stuff. And then I come to the care home and they want to change everything. Like, the way I wash my clothes suddenly was wrong. Like, the way I sorted my clothes was wrong, which it wasn't because it clearly worked for me. And then I have this kind of thing where I have one day a week where I deep clean my room, which is Sunday, and then I have self-care night. And they wanted to schedule when I have to clean my room, and I was like, don't tell me that I have to clean my room because then I'm not gonna do it. Like, I'm very specific on the part where don't tell me what to do when I want to do it, because I'm very strict with my own schedule, you know, schedule, I don't know. And then they were like, but we have to write it down because you have to have at least one day a week where you clean your room. And I'm like, I already do that, but you shouldn't remind me of that because then I'm not gonna do it. So they kept reminding me of it and I just didn't do it, you know. And self-care night was a reward for when I cleaned my room, and then they were like, oh Emma, now you have self-care night. Don't tell me that I am forced to have self-care night because then it's not a reward. And I tried to communicate and tell them this, but they wouldn't listen. So yes. And then there's my diet plan, and I was pretty deep into an eating disorder those 4 months. I've been that since I was little. But yeah, I was trying to get out of it, but it was a way of control I had. And yeah, I and since we didn't really have any food at the care home, I didn't eat much, and the money I got from the care home, my pocket money, I used on food, and the food I could afford for that small amount of money was pasta and fries, quite literally. Um, so that's what I bought to eat, you know, and noodles, you know, noodle soup. That I also bought that a lot. And then I was making it one day, and then one of the caretakers at the care home told me, if you eat that every night, you're gonna gain 50 kilos. And I'm like, I don't care right now, I just need food. And then she was like, yeah, but you will care when you weigh 50 kilos too much. And I was like, you know, I have an eating disorder, right? And she was like, I don't care, you overweight already and stuff. And that was just so messed up. And yeah, I stopped eating completely, and they didn't give a fuck, which is, I didn't mind it actually that they didn't give a fuck, but my best friend did. My best friend always gives a fuck. She's so sweet, literally. And yeah, then I was there willingly, like I could go home whenever I wanted to, you know. And this is where it will go wrong. So around 2 months into my placement, you know, at the care home, I didn't have contact with my family at that time, but I began really missing my family. Like I began like, I don't know, just something went completely wrong in my head, and I began running away and attempting like quite a lot, and getting involved with the police, and yeah, just some pretty messed up stuff, pretty much. And then I got in contact with my family again, which was amazing. But I was still, something was wrong inside me. It was like I felt so broken, and I didn't quite know what to do because my mom wasn't there to like um save me like she used to. And I didn't have anyone to talk to because everything I said at the care home, they would just immediately assume that I lied. I didn't, and they didn't really believe that I was struggling with my mental health. They didn't believe I was dyslexic, which is in my papers. They could go in and literally read that I am dyslexic. Um, and then we reach my last day at the care home, which we didn't know at that time because it all happened all of a sudden. Um, and the weekend before, I was at home with my family the entire weekend. I was sleeping there and all. And uh, yeah. And then I came back to the care, like I was fed up with the care home. You know, I was really fed up. Um, I came back to the care home after I'd been at home, and I was like, I can't do this. I'm gonna have a crash out at you all if you don't let me go home again, because I really wanted to go home. Um, yeah. And then they were like, okay, fine, but you can't go today. You have to wait till tomorrow, which was the plan, to stay there from Thursday to Sunday. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can go home tomorrow. Anyway, so that's fine. I go to therapy and stuff. Then I get told you have to wait till Friday. You know, you can only be home from Friday to Sunday. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's better than nothing. I didn't even fight back because I was like, that's better than nothing. And then we reach evening, and I just want to tell you all that at this time I was already extremely suicidal. Like, I was so depressed that I literally couldn't feel anything. I was sleeping all day, which was why I haven't been posting. I was sleeping literally I was awake maybe 4 hours a day, let's say it like that. and that was so hard. Like, my best friend was also like, something is wrong, and nobody would listen. But I was awake literally only 4 hours a day. That entire, like, last month I was at the care home because everything was like going wrong, and yeah. But anyways, the last day at my care home, and then we reached kind of like the evening, you know. And then I was told that they have to talk with me about something. And then I come out and I'm like, what do you want to tell me? What do you want to talk with me about? Then they say, you can't go home at all. And that was it for me. Like, I couldn't, like, in my mind, I couldn't process it, because it was the only thing that was keeping me alive. It was my family, and now I was told I couldn't be with my family, and yeah, it was just the end of the world for me. So I go into my room, and I obviously do what every suicidal person does when something goes wrong. They go to this self-harm way, you know. And uh, and then I remember I go out because I was literally bleeding everywhere, and I asked for help to patch myself together because I didn't know what to do. It had never been that bad before. And they like put like bandages on it, and then they say it's quite deep, I think we should call a doctor and stuff. And then I refuse, I say no. And then they go into their office, and I couldn't take it. I was way too sad, and I couldn't really feel I was sad, but I knew I was sad. So I remember I changed my clothes from pajamas because yeah. And then I changed it from pajamas to a hoodie and jogging pants, and I walked out the front door. Um, and my best friend saw me walk out the front door with my hood on and AirPods in and stuff. So obviously she walks after me. Obviously she follows me, and then the staff follows my best friend, and I'm on my way up to the bus stop thing, you know. And my best friend obviously knows it's completely wrong. Like, something is wrong, and I'm gonna do it, you know. So I'm at the bus stop, and she's kind of trying, you know, to talk me out of it. Quite literally, she's there, and she tries to talk me out of it, and I was like, no, I'm gonna do this, you know. And she knew it because she struggles herself a lot. So I go onto the bus, and she tells the staff, you have to call someone right now because she's gonna do it. And I have already told my mom that I wasn't able to go home. They told me that I couldn't go home, and then I put my phone on, you know, the pilot thing so people can text me or call me. And then I reached the train station, you know why, probably. And I didn't know at this time that my mom already was on the way to pick me up. Yeah. And I was there, and I waited, and then one of the workers at the train station sees me. He pulls me away, and then like police comes, they take me to the psychiatric and stuff. Yeah. And then I say yes to go into the psychiatric. I was completely gone, I can't remember much. I just know I say yes. And then the next thing I remember is me in the psychiatric and my mom yelling at someone or something. And then I remember afterwards that my mom got to take me home same night because I wanted to go home. And then I got a new social worker, and yeah, I was told that it was completely wrong and I got to go home again. And I felt so much better. I could feel again. I was just so happy, and that's how much difference family can make. And my best friend actually is kind of my family too. She tried so hard to save me. Quite literally, she was on her way herself to go get me actually. Um, and just huge shout out to those train station workers, like just angels, you know, for saving me, and the police workers, the policemen, you know, and my parents, obviously, my family who all stepped up when everything went wrong. I'm just so thankful. I still talk with my best friend today, um, and yeah, I just want to say that it's been some crazy few months, honestly, and I'm much better now, and I have a summer job. I'm going on vacation soon. Everything is going amazing. So I just want to give you a heads up and say that there are much more videos coming up soon, and yeah, I'm just so much better now. And I also want to remind you that whatever you're going through, I promise you it's gonna get better. I talk from experience. I've been so far down, as you just heard, and I got better in no time. It's just a matter of what went wrong and what kind of help you're getting. But it's gonna get better. I promise you that. And it can take years, it can take months, but it will get better. You'll have ups and downs all your life, but it will always get better again. I love you guys, and I hope I'll see you again in my next video. Bye!